Okay.
Okay, we are back.
Pow.
We are back with a pow. Back to the Sports Circus here at WCOBM. You can catch us tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., Fox Sports Radio, 1340, here in the Las Vegas market. If you cannot tune in, if you're not in the Las Vegas market, go to thesportscircus.com, click the link in the center to stream the show live. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a special guest in tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. So we left off about the steroids.
Right.
We left off talking about guys like Bagwell and Roger Clemens. Clemens as a pitcher, I don't really see him benefiting from steroids that much. And you had made a really good point when we were off camera. Tell me about that.
Well, basically, someone
told
me a long time ago that just because you're shooting up this stuff doesn't mean you can hit a round ball with a round bat, which people have said is one of the hardest things to do in the world. I guess you could hit it farther, hit it harder, but as far as being able to, hit that ball, it doesn't make you a better hitter. It just makes you hit the ball harder. And I always thought when it comes to steroids, it was a thing that made your muscles heal faster. That's what I always thought.
That's the myth behind it.
That was the myth behind it, I guess. I mean, because you hit the ball harder. We've had, you have people back in the day that used to hit the ball great. Maybe they didn't hit as many home runs, but, Hank Aaron hit a lot of home runs, and he wasn't on the juice. Babe Ruth hit a lot of home runs. He wasn't on the juice. Roberto Clemente
and they were hitting a beanbag.
Yeah, and so, and I know it all has to do with how the ball's wound and all stuff like that. So, Willie Stargell hit a lot of home runs. I guess King Griffey got over 500, right? And I don't think he was juiced up.
No, Griffey was a straight guy.
Yeah, so, I guess I don't understand what the purpose was. Maybe, I guess if you hit more home runs, you get paid more, I guess.
Well, here's one way to look at it. You can look at it like an arms race in world politics.
Right.
Right? This guy's doing this. Oh, we've got to do this because we've got to match him, keeping up with the Joneses idea.
It could be. Yeah. I mean, it could be. I like I said, Barry Bonds hit. That 1 year he hit 70-some in 1 year, right?
It was crazy. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
But in baseball, here's the great thing about baseball: you could fail 7 out of 10 times and find yourself in a Hall of Fame.
Oh.
I mean, and that's ridiculous. Keeping up with the Hall of Fame dialogue. But then you got guys like Vladimir Guerrero, who finished 5th in the race. And this guy is one of the best clutch hitters out of the entire list, next to Manny Ramirez, who finishes 12th. And by the way, Manny being Manny is still playing over in Japan. Why? Because that's what Manny does. And good for him, because in Japan, if you could play, they don't give a damn anything about, well, you're old and this and that. Julio Franco played till he was 56 over there.
Right.
And let's face it, Ricky Henderson's probably trolling around the league somewhere as well, just because he wants to play. And you can't, say he's a bad guy, oh, he's the old guy. No, he just wants to play. He's not the old guy at the club.
Right. Right.
The old balding guy that's trolling on the 18, 20-year-old girls. No, I mean, that's not what guys like Manny Ramirez is doing. He's just playing because he digs playing. And he is probably one of the best players I've seen in my era.
Right.
At second base or wherever they put him. Remember him with the Indians, with that ridiculous team, with Vizquel at short, him at second base. This team in the 90s, that Indians team, too bad they ran into the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
Right.
Which was kind of a big disappointment. I mean, if you're an Atlanta Brave fan, with that team and that starting rotation for a decade, and you only won one World Series
with that ridiculous team.
Yeah, and
your rotation is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Not one guy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Pow. I don't even get it.
Yeah.
So give him another pow.
Pow.
Exactly. I don't get it. So, moving past the Hall of Fame, there have been some free agent signings recently, and the Baltimore Orioles were smart. They did not let Mark Trumbo get away. Trumbo stayed with the Orioles. He led the league in home runs. I think he led the league in home runs, if I'm not mistaken.
Like I said, I don't know.
Anyway, so Trumbo signs a 3-year, $37 million deal. I think it was smart. The Angels were looking for another home run hitter, but the problem with the Angels, as they sign Luis Valbuena. And Valbuena's bounced around the league. He's been a journeyman player in 4 different teams. It was a terrible move for the Angels to pick up Valbuena. I don't see him plugging a hole at third base or second base. It's a terrible move. And certain teams just make bad move after bad move. This is Billy Epler's second year as the Angels general manager. And we saw what happened last year despite all their injuries.
Right.
They played terribly even with the talent they had. I mean, they were basically playing as well as the Salt Lake Bees, their AAA team, who end up playing, of course, our 51s here in town, which would be the Mets AAA team. And in fact, I went to a game between the 51s and the Salt Lake Bees in the 4th inning. The 51s were winning 17-0.
Ooh.
17-0. Yeah.
That's a tough one.
I was hoping they'd score 30.
Wow.
Just because, it's kind of like seeing roadkill. You look back, oh, that's terrible. I got to keep looking back at it because it's roadkill. Well, the 51s were absolutely smashing the Angels AAA team because they were depleted, apparently.
Right.
They pulled their talent up. But when you look at what the Angels did last year with their talent, they don't have any talent. They really don't. Outside of the best player in baseball, Mike Trout, and a quality guy in Pujols, which at some point may be linked to steroids. We don't know because he's awfully large. Pujols is a good hitter, but let's face it, that team is in big trouble. This move of getting Valbuena, not a good move. Doesn't help the club. You guys need a complete overhaul. You don't believe me? Look at what you did last year. Look at your farm system all the way down to Lake Elsinore. I believe it's your A-ball team. You guys are in trouble. So the Astros are pursuing Sonny Gray, a great pitcher.
Right.
Right? And Sonny Gray is one of those coveted free agents. And the reason they're pursuing him is because they went after Luis Quintana from the Chicago White Sox, who is the best pitching prospect out there today, best free agent, that is, that's available. Problem is the asking price was very high. The White Sox got well in the offseason from their trades of Chris Sale and from Adam Eaton. They did very well. They stockpiled the farm system.
Right. Let me turn this down.
He's got to turn his phone down.
I just want to turn it down so we're not interrupting you.
Anyway, so now the Astros are pursuing Sonny Gray, and Sonny Gray is a very good pitcher, and frankly, I'd like to see something good come out of that for the Astros because I think the Astros are good enough to take that division over the Texas Rangers. And one other baseball signing we had was the Florida Marlins picked up the Cincinnati Reds ace Dan Straley for 3 prospects. And remember, the Marlins lost their pitcher from the death last year.
Right.
So they're basically trying to plug a hole there. I think Straley's a good guy. He's a good right-handed pitcher. He's a real nice fit for that system. And I guess we'll have to see what's happening with that. So let's switch over to the world of boxing and MMA.
Okay. All right.
And MMA. Give another pow.
Pow!
Right, because this is what's going to happen to Floyd Mayweather if he gets into a fight. He takes the fight with McGregor.
Right.
McGregor's just going to smash him if he can hit him.
Nope.
I just want him to hit him. Just hit him.
You and a million others have been wanting to see Floyd get hit for a decade. I've only think one guy has actually got one shot on him. That was Oscar De La Hoya at the end of their fight. He almost had him, but he just didn't get it done. And believe me, if he can't, if he can dodge Oscar De La Hoya for 10 rounds, McGregor ain't gonna be an issue.
Well, right, but remember, you've got De La Hoya, a boxer, Mayweather, a boxer. The difference is McGregor will walk at you. He will corner you. He will walk at you. Please hit me, saying, go ahead, hit me. Because if he's going to say, I can take a hit off your pillow, but now you're going to take a hit, you're going to trade hits with me.
Well, we're going to see. We're going to see.
We don't know.
I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they're going to get paid enough. And
paid enough?
I don't think they're going to be able to get it. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Paid enough? That's ridiculous.
Well, if you watched Dana White, he put out that offer, $25 million apiece,
right?
And you get to share the Cox or the cable revenue,
the pay-per-view, right?
At pay-per-view,
right.
And Merriweather came back and said, before you offer me $25 million, you got to make $25 million, which he was saying that McGregor's never even been in that league before.
No, he's been at the $3 million.
So
range,
I mean, $3 million, okay, that's a round for Mayweather. So he's kind of coming back saying, you know what, guys, you just stay in your MMA, $2 million a fight, $1 million a fight. When you're ready to pay someone $200 million for a fight, come talk.
And that's ridiculous. And I'll tell you why it's ridiculous. Because the guys that are going in the MMA, they're in that cage. and they're fighting. They're earning their $2 million or whatever the hell it is. It doesn't matter. And you've got a square ring, and guys are running away from one another in there because they don't want to get hit.
Well, like I said, boxing's a different game. You know, MMA is controlled by one guy, and he determines what's getting paid, who's fighting who. There's no agents involved. There's no negotiating involved. It's like, hey, you fight in the next fight. This is what we're going to give you. And if you don't, I've got another 50 swinging dicks out there that would just love to take your place. And believe it or not, I could just walk into any MMA gym in Vegas and say, hey, you want $20,000 next week? You know what? I'm going to put you in a fight. So Dana White controls the whole thing. Boxing, it's not like that.
Well, you know, boxing used to be like that.
Well, not anymore. Now
Boxing,
it's agents.
Let's go back to the real people's champion, Rocky Marciano.
Well, that's a little bit before my time.
Before my time too, but
So-
the Rocky movies were made after a guy like
Right,
him.
right.
Although Rocky Marciano went 61-0,
Right.
right? Nobody beat him, and he was willing to fight anybody.
Right.
It didn't matter about the money. Why? Because he had a cast iron head, and he's like, "Go ahead, hit me."
Well,
Let's see
now
what
it's
you
all
got.
about the big fight. Now it's all
Right.
about management, putting you in a position to where either you can keep, you know, for that big fight, that big payday. That's what it's all about now. So if you can get that done, and you know, you have these little teaser 8 fights, you're 10-0, then you get the big fight, and you know. But the thing is, you know, boxing, there really isn't a Merriweather to kind of give you the big fight anymore.
I don't know. We'll pick that up in just a couple of minutes. Be right back.